Anna, it's lovely to see you at MCM Comic Con today. What kind of day have you been having?
Do you know what? I love these. They're just everyone expressing themselves how they want to express themselves. It's just a crazy, crazy day. But also very nice to meet the fans, because coming from theatre, you know, the thing I love about theatre is the immediacy of it. And you don't get that so much with television. So it's nice to come here and have people come up and say, I'm really scared of you. And I think, good to see, I'm doing a good job.
Now, of course, you are a very scary character on Game of Thrones, aren't you, Septa Unella? I mean, how did you get into playing that character, and how much fun is it?
I think the biggest thing for me is stripping back, because she is so, well, she's so plain. It kind of takes you to a certain place, a simple, subdued, dark, minimalistic place anyway. So once all that gear goes on, I feel very different. As a woman in modern society, so much of our lives are dictated by our appearance, whether we like it or not. And to have all that removed, as an actress that's usually played glamorous characters, it's kind of a shock at first, but I loved it because it lent so much to me. And I love the fact that she is, like I say, so economical with her facial expressions, with what she says, and it's a pleasure to play her and lock into a very different rhythm and very different thought pattern.
And of course, talking about, stripping everything back, you had that incredible scene, shame, walking Lena Headey's character Cersei through the streets in the Walk of Atonement. What was it like filming that?
Well, the first scene when we were at the top of the stairs was my first scene ever on Thrones. And I had my own 10-week-old baby in the wings. And so I was kind of thinking, I feel like I should be with you. But all the while thinking this is just an extraordinary, epic wheel to become a tiny spoke in. And it was a real pleasure, and has continued to be quite an overwhelming thrill.
I can imagine you get rather a few people coming up and saying that word to you, do you?
I do, but I love it because it means that I've done my job properly, and I don't think even David and Dan knew that this character would be so loved, and now so loved/hated, from basically barking 2 words at Cersei.
And what was it like playing part of that Faith Militant?
Brilliant, because there is a quiet power to them. I mean, a massive power to them. And as a whole, myself, Jonathan Pryce, and the Faith Militants, and Eugene as well, it's a collective of oddballs who, unbeknownst to the royalty, have really come in and started running the show, and have kind of slapped them round the face and shocked them.
What's your take on the High Sparrow?
Well, Unella is just in awe of him, and I think she's worked very hard to become his right-hand henchwoman.
I like that description of her. Although he did say to Marjorie, I think it was this season, that your devotion's taken a little bit too far, because you did almost hit Marjorie, didn't you?
No. You can't prove it. I think she's become a little overly devout, because she just wants to please him. And I think, for me personally, I purposely play a deeper layer of wanting approval from him, because she doesn't look up to many people in life, but he is her master.
I mean, what do you think Unella would think if she heard him say that you've taken your devotion too far?
I think she'd go into her cell and flagellate with her Order of the Seven Bible.
Now, of course, we think we've got a scene coming up with you as well with Marjorie. We've had it teased for episode 6, season 6, yes. But it looks a little bit different than the Walk of Shame that you did with Cersei, because there's no head shaved yet in the picture anyway, not naked and all of this. Can you tease a little bit for us what we might see from Septa Unella for the rest of the season?
You might see some things. And that's it.
Some nasty things?
Yeah, well, no, but she doesn't think any of her behaviour is nasty. She is clarifying and cleansing and just bringing people back to who they were when they came into this world, instead of the, self-absorbed, self-obsessed dollies that they've become.
Now, talk about self-absorbed and self-obsessed. Last season, when you had her in the tower, Cersei in the cell, Cersei said to you that her face would be the last face that you ever saw before you die. What do you think of that? What do you think? Do you think that's going to come true for Septa Unella?
I don't think that Septa Unella is particularly bothered, because when it's her time to go, it's her time to go, and the gods will allow her to atone for her behaviour, which she respects what she's done in her life, or at least the latter part of her life as a Septa, and she will atone accordingly.
Had so many great deaths on the show. How would you like to go out?
How would I like to go out? Slowly.
That sounds ominous. And of course, you've got so many great actors on the show as well. If you could have anyone come on Game of Thrones, who would you love to see?
To come on to the show? Well, I have to say, I think the way they've picked the people to play these roles, for me, there wouldn't be anybody that I'd like to see this. I mean, the way they have cast these roles is just phenomenal. If I could have a scene with anyone, I'd like to have a scene with Peter Dinklage, because I just think he's got the most phenomenal presence. I don't know in what world. Maybe we'd meet as, wronged brother trying to defend his sister. I don't know. But I think Septa Unella might have a little bit of a ooh moment meeting him.
Thanks so much for talking to us, Hannah. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.